Good morning, everyone. It's Geri. So today, let's talk about feeling yourself first. You know, giving to yourself first. Um, let me, as an example, uh, how would you teach others if you don't know what to teach? So let's just say, for me, for example, how am I gonna be able to train others if I am not training myself? So that's just a practical example. How am I gonna give charity to others if I'm not being charitable to myself, if I am not being um, kind to myself? That's you got to be kind and charitable to yourself, so that way you can exude that and give that to others too. You can't be kind to others and then abuse yourself. That doesn't make sense. But the thing is, a lot of people do that. There's a lot of people who work themselves to death and don't even experience the benefit of don't even reward themselves, don't even experience the benefit of what they're doing. Coming from the Philippines, we have a lot of people we have a lot of Filipinos who would go to other countries to work there. They're called overseas foreign workers and OFW. The Philippines, the OFW generates a lot of money for the Philippines, and that's our main source of income. And it's all good. The main purpose for them going to other countries to work is so that way they can get more money for the same work that they're doing. For instance, nurses in the Philippines don't get paid as much as they would if they were in New Zealand or even in Canada. you know very little compared to America, but they would go. But the other part of that is they're leaving their family behind, so that way they can do all that. So because they feel like they're leaving their family behind, and because they're out there working, they feel like they have to work every day, work hard all the time, and give all the money, to their family, which is good. That's very noble. But then again, you're not, if you're not doing something for yourself, and this is only for if you're doing everything for others and not for yourself. So you have to fill yourself once in a while. It's just like a tank of gas. You can't keep going until you fill up again. And just consider yourself like a tank of gas. You can go full force when you have full tank, and you can go like kind of like working, using fumes when you don't have a lot anymore, but you can still get there. But at the end, you'll stop because there's nothing there anymore. So, and you don't want to get to that stopping point. You want to be able to continue. You want to be able to build endurance. And the only way you can do that is if you also fill yourself up. You can't get yourself empty. That's the main point, is you have to fill yourself up first. Now, other people would say, well, I can give a little bit to myself, but this is what I feel like I really need to give everything to my family. And that's all good. That's all good. There's two major things that I kind of want to point out to that is, make sure that when you're giving everything to your families, make sure that that is being spent well and not just go to waste. I don't know how many people I know went to do overseas foreign worker, when to become an overseas foreign worker, and they would send all the money that they have, that they earned while they're out of the country working at another country, and then when they come back, they can't even say that they own a house, you know and their kids didn't even go to school, or stuff like that. There's so many things. So that's like one point. The other point is, at the end, like when they come back from being an OF, because you can't be an OFW for your whole life. In unfortunately, in other places there are age discrimination, so you can't just be an OFW for as long as you want. In the US, there's no age discrimination, and you can work pretty much as long as you want, as long as you can do the work, as long as you're fit to do the duty. But in other places, like in the Philippines, the agencies won't even hire you if you're over a certain age. And so when they would come back, when they would when they renew it and they can't renew it anymore, they would come back to the Philippines, and they won't have retirement money after working for so long as OFW. Do you see what I'm saying now? Those are just the two main points that I'm saying, that if you don't fill yourself up first, you may end up just giving everything away. Obviously you're gonna give it, I'm hoping that you would give it to your family. That would be because I'm assuming that would be your first intention. But if you don't give to yourself first, if you don't save first, what are you expecting to go back to? Are you gonna expect that you're gonna have a full retirement, a full house, a house, Medicare? And you can't really rely on Medicare in the Philippines. I don't even know if it even exists. But it's the point is that you're not gonna have anything if you don't reserve some for yourself. And that's not being selfish. And I know the culture in the Philippines, and I'm pretty sure in other countries it exists too, that when we do something for ourselves, we feel like we're selfish. We feel like we're guilty because we're doing something for ourselves. And in reality, we have to do something for ourselves first. We have to reward ourselves. And if we don't reward ourselves, then it's like we don't see where it's going. We don't feel encouraged. So the other point is, how do you feel? How do you get encouragement? How do you give encouragement to other people if you can't even encourage yourself? How are you gonna do that? Like how are you gonna encourage somebody to keep going if you're in a place of discouragement, in a place of giving up? You have to at least encourage yourself first, or draw encouragement from other people to yourself, so that way you can also encourage other people. So again, you have to give something to yourself first. You have to fill yourself first. Don't feel guilty about it. Exercise, doing good to yourself. How can you advise other people to exercise if you're not exercising? Okay, this is a strong point of mine. I just think that it's very and you may not agree with it. I just think it's very hypocritical that you are telling other people to exercise so that way they can be healthy, when you yourself, you're not being healthy, you're not being active, you're not exercising. I mean, how does that even work? It's like you have to be able to be healthy yourself, or even if you're in a place of, even if you're dealing with illness or disease and all that, even so, you still have to do something to make yourself healthy. You want to advise other people to be healthy. You also want to make sure to advise yourself to be healthy. I guess I kind of got sidetracked on that one. Anyways, those are just the examples that I wanted to tell you guys about how important it is to give to yourself first. You can't really give to others as much as you want if you are running on fumes. You can't get to where you need to go if you're running on fumes. Like I said from the example earlier about the gas tank, you can't really be running on fumes all the time. You have at one point in time or the other, you'll have to fill your tank, and you can't really do that if you don't give to yourself, if you don't do that first. So just because I'm a lab scientist, I want to give you an example for, let's just say, for donating blood. Do you think you can donate blood if you're anemic? I'm pretty sure you can't, because they would check your hemoglobin first, and sometimes they even check your hematocrit. And if your hemoglobin is low, I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna allow you to give blood, to donate blood. And that's for your own, good. That's a safety feature. So, but you obviously you want to help other people who need blood, right? You want to help them, but you again, if you can't, you have to fill yourself first. You have to make sure that your oxygen level is good. You have to make sure that you're healthy enough to donate. You have to make sure that your hemoglobin and hematocrit's on a healthy level before you can donate. You can't donate blood if you're anemic. Just keep that in mind. You can't give to others if you don't have it yourself. And a lot of, I guess, a lot of, because of the culture, we tend to do that. And I realize that's, like I said, it's a strong topic for a lot of people, that they feel like they have to give everything. And I understand that. I came from that culture, and I'm thankful that I don't have that in my immediate family. I'm very fortunate in that nature, but I know so many people that have gone through it, are experiencing it, are feeling guilty about it, and I feel bad for them. I feel bad, I really do, because it's, you have to take care of yourself first. Okay, so we have a science example, we have like a practical example. Now let's do a philosophical example. Have you ever tried pouring out water from an empty glass? Did you get any water? So just let that sink in for a little bit, because it's the philosophical example. And I've tried it. I tried to pour water from an empty glass, and guess what? There's no water. There's no water that was poured. And guess why? Because the glass is empty. So what do I need to do is to be able to pour out more to the other glasses, is I have to fill up that glass first with water, right? Same thing. It applies philosophically, I don't know, scientifically, because that's what my example is. It applies practically, and it's just a benefit for you and for your family overall. So like I said, don't feel guilty about it. It's almost like it's a must. Now, I'm not saying splurge on yourself all the time. You can do that once in a while. I mean, you can probably instead of buying a bunch of sodas, you buy a nice bottle of wine or something like that, just to treat yourself, because you're not buying sodas every day, then you buy your wine, and for that week you get your wine. I don't know if you guys drink, or if you like chocolate, instead of buying those little pieces of chocolate, then maybe you can splurge on a bar of chocolate. Personally, I love Cadbury's, and that's just a personal preference. But I don't know how you want to splurge. You may once in a while, but just don't do it all the time, because remember, the reason why you're working out as an OFW, and the reason why you're sending all this money, that you earn to your families, because you're there for them. You're working out, away from them, for them. So again, you have to do something for yourself. Just don't splurge all the time, and don't feel guilty about doing something good to yourself. So again, I guess I just went on. I just wanted to make sure I give you examples, practical, theoretic, practical, philosophical, and scientific examples, I guess. so that way you can have, you can really understand what I'm trying to say. Anyways, I hope that you learned something from this, and maybe if you can, give me an example of why you don't think that you should do it this way. Maybe, just put it in the comment and just let me know why. Maybe I can look into it. I have this information that I'm sharing with you right now definitely came from many other OFWs, and I'm not an OFW. So, but I have met many OFW. I'm friends with many OFWs, and it's the same situation every time. It's they feel guilty, they feel selfish when they have to spend on themselves. They have to do, they have to buy something good for themselves. And like I said, don't feel that way. Just, you have to give something to yourself. Just don't splurge all the time. All right, guys. That's my topic for today. Feel yourself, do good to yourself, be kind to yourself, be charitable, and don't feel guilty about it. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Have a blessed day. Bye.